Hi everyone, Nadia Gurwell here, single mom of 8-year-old triplets and a 6-year-old. And today, what I want, actually, how do you guys like my outfit? I have a pink dress. I'm like trying it out for Halloween shoots that I have coming up. So, and I did some pics with it, so it's kind of fun. It's like a long, kind of like, um, to the body dress. And I thought I'd put like something tiger prints with it. So, okay, so today what I wanted to talk about was go into like one of my like dating stories, right? And I have quite a bit of them to release, but this is the other one I'm releasing. So, okay, I met someone through actually the Facebook dating app, and I believe he's the second guy that I've met often. And last night, I saw him for the third time. And usually when I talk about my dating stuff, it's because it stuck out in my mind. And this one really did, but not in a good way. I mean, I guess if it was good, then it would be kind of boring, right? So, this has to be probably like the first time I would say throughout all the time that I've been dating that I actually fell apart in front of a guy. So I've had a lot of guys, a lot, tell me, that they didn't want relationships, that they don't want commitments, that they don't have the time for XYZ reason. But with this guy, it really like just, it took me by surprise because the way he like kept pursuing me, and he would just tell me, and I know that like you shouldn't really go by what they say but by what they do, but I guess I fell for it. So he would say to me like how much he liked me, and I had a great personality, and he wanted to see me again and all that. So when I did see him yesterday, he made me feel awful, really awful, for wanting a relationship. Now, I've said it all along that I want a relationship. And here's the thing, it's a trap. When a guy asks you, right, do you want a relationship? And it's happened to me a lot. And you tell them yes, they're running for the hills. They are just running. And it's happened to me quite a few times. But you know what? Like, why should I lie about it? Really, why should I lie? Why am I not going to be like true to myself and get what I really want? So he says, oh, but I thought you said that you were dating. I said, yes, I said to him, but I'm dating, but with a purpose to it. I said, I'm not dating just for the fun of it or just to go out on dates and drinks. No, I go, I would like to have someone in my life. It doesn't mean, I told him, that I want like, a serious thing right now. I want to get to know the person, but eventually I would like for it to lead into something. I said, it doesn't most certainly mean that I want to get married, because I don't anytime soon. That's like the last thing that I want, really. And I told him, I said, and I'm not asking it from you. I said, get that in your head. I'm not asking you to commit to me. I'm not asking you to be in a relationship. I told him, if you want to be with me, then that's cool. If you don't want to be with me, then that's okay also. And while I'm saying these things to him, I could feel myself just like tearing up, and I'm trying to hold back from not crying, but it was hard not to towards the end. And I could tell like that he's telling me like towards the end that he's saying goodbye to me, basically. By like what he's saying to me, he's like, I'm sorry that I disappointed you, and blah, blah. And at that point it was all like a blur. It was a blur, and I just like I started crying. Then maybe he thought that I was like crying because of him. No, I was crying because it hurt to hear that for the like 50th time already. It was hard it's been very hard to hear it over and over and over and over. And after a while, it wears on you. It really does. And that's why I fell apart. You know what? I could care less. I really could care less if this guy like doesn't want anything with me. I told him, I said, I'm not going to force anyone. I'm not going to insist. I'm not going to beg. Absolutely not. I'm not going to plead, for anyone to be with me. it's just, it happens naturally. And then he's trying to give me advice. He's saying, well, you know what, he's telling me, I highly suggest, that you, what he's saying, that you don't tell guys that you want relationships because they're gonna be running, they're gonna be scared. And I'm like, oh, okay, so what do I lie? Like, do I lie and say I don't want a relationship? Do I lie and say I just want casual sex? That I just want friends with benefits? You see, here's the thing, right? That guys nowadays, and I don't know if it's with women, but men, a lot of men don't want relationships. They really don't. It's this whole, like, polyamorous shit and this whole open relationship thing. And obviously, women allow it also. And that's why men have gotten so comfortable with it. They're like, why should we commit if we can have Susie and Carrie and Linda and whoever whenever we want? We can taste, different fruit all the time. Another thing, that, like, I think kind of made him, run a bit also, because I remember when I first met him, he did mention something that throughout his marriage, he had been unfaithful quite a few times. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't know if I could really be with someone who's been unfaithful quite a few times. You know what? I guess people could change. But, so I really didn't think it would go anywhere after the first time, that I saw him. But he kept calling me. He kept texting me. He wanted to see me. So I said, you know what? Let's just see what happens. And then I pinned him down yesterday. I asked him, look, you mentioned, I told him when we first met, that you couldn't be faithful. I go, where do you stand now? I told him, can you actually be faithful? And he gives me this, like, thing about that. Look, he goes, men are not faithful to begin with. He goes, they just can't be faithful, period. And I'm like, oh. So I told him, so you're telling me that you can never be faithful? And he's like, kind of like, uh-oh, I need to bite my tongue now. I told him, look, I cannot change you. I cannot control you. I told him, I can only change myself. I cannot control, what you do. But I told him, I want you to be very clear on this. I said, I will never be okay. I told him, I will never be okay with someone who is not faithful to me, period. No, I won't. I will not be okay with him running around and, being with other women while I know it. It's not going to happen. No. And he, didn't say anything. It was a very hard pill to swallow because, like I said, I've heard this so many times, and then having someone just sit, like, right next to me and tell me, basically kind of like make me feel bad about wanting to be in a relationship, and then telling me, flat in my face, like so close, that I can never, like, basically he wasn't going to be in a relationship with me, which I'd heard quite a few times from other guys. I fell apart. I really did. I fell apart. I couldn't handle it because I've hurt, and it hurt. It hurt because I want to be in a relationship with someone, but I can't seem to find it. And he says, well, maybe, like I said, if you stop saying it, things will just happen. I disagree with that. I really disagree. Because if you are not putting out there, right, that you would like to have a relationship, then you're not going to meet someone who also would like to potentially, be in a relationship. And I told him, look, it's not like I said to him that I haven't had, the opportunity to be in a relationship with someone. I've had several opportunities throughout this time that I've been single to be with someone. But I've said to him, I haven't liked the person enough to say, you know what, I don't like to lead people on. It has to be where, like, I feel that I want to be with them in a relationship, and if I don't, then I don't. It's just something I can't fake it. And just because I'm alone and I would like to have someone, it doesn't mean that I'm just gonna, whoever comes along and wants to be in a relationship and I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna jump into it. I'm not. I said I'm selective. I'm selective of who I want in my life, and I know what I like. And if the guy is a certain way that I don't like, even though, he could be a good catch and he could be very faithful and generous and loyal and have character and a hard worker and a family guy. But if there is no compatibility on my part, like if there is no chemistry, if the vibe is just not there, then I'm not gonna do it. Period. I'm not. So, well, you know what cures it? Tequila, right? That's what always makes things feel better for temporarily. Anyway, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. And if there's any topic that you'd like for me to talk about, just send me a message. Okay, bye.